What's up, everybody? This is Joe Bisping, and in this video we're going to go over some advanced rigging techniques and also some advanced climbing techniques. So stay tuned, pay attention, and enjoy the video. Okay, so what we have here is a silver maple, and the property owner would like to have one main lead taken off that's going out over the neighbor's property, and they actually have a vehicle parked over here, over his trees and all that, and then just a smaller scrubby one that we're going to take off while we're up there. But as I'll show you in this video, this lead goes out over top of some pine trees, and like I said, this vehicle that's parked over here, which doesn't look like it's going to move anytime soon. I don't know if it's a scrap vehicle or whatever, but it doesn't matter, we can't hit it. So what we're going to do is we're going to set an SRT line up through a union, so I don't have to climb up and set a line, so I can just set one up and then I can spike up the stem. But also I'm going to set a floating block in another union to rig these pieces out away from the tree and away from the vehicle is parked over there and back to this property, so Greg can lower it down and get the brush out of there. Not super big tops, not super big stem, but we just want to do it in a controlled manner rather than getting up there trying to cut pieces that are hard to handle and throw them way back over your shoulder and trying to get them back to this property, or get them hung up in this tree that you'll see up in the video. But stay tuned, and here we go. So we're going to set our rigging in this stem right here up in the union, okay? And over here, this one I guess for you right there, that's the stem we're going to be removing, which is way out over top of this stuff over here. And you'll see a better example of that up in the tree when I wear my GoPro. And I'm going to set my climb line in this stem here. Alright, first thing we're going to do is try to set the rigging line. We're going to use a throw ball to do that. Okay, we got the throw line up through the union we want. It's a little higher, so I'm hoping that the rope will come down through and pull down through some little sticks. We're going to attach the rope to the line and pull it up through. Okay, so we got that attached on. We're going to pull it up. You should tape the ends of these. This tape came off. But anyways, we're going to pull this up through. Okay, this is where things get a little bit more advanced for rigging. But as I showed you in this video, we threw this line up over a union. So it's just naturally through a union. Okay? But at this point, if say I was to rig off of just this rope, forget the block, just this rope. And say I was to rig 200-pound piece of wood on this rope. Okay, it's going to put 200 pounds of force on this end of the rope up to the union, right? But in order for that rope to hold over here, it's going to have 200 pounds of hold on the other end of the rope to hold to the base of the tree. So when you're rigging like this, you have to double the load because it's got 200 pounds pulling on this side and 200 pounds holding on the anchor side, okay? That really puts a 400-pound load on your anchor point, okay? That's extremely important to understand, okay? Because you want to choose a strong anchor point up there, because if you choose a small top thinking, oh, I'm just rigging out a piece here, well, forces can increase very quickly with these methods. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to pull this block up to the union I want with another rope in there, so Greg can pull and manipulate, and it just gives you less friction, and it gives us an ability to not, ruin the union up there. So I'm now going to add another rope to the system. So what I'm going to do is put my rope through here, and then I'm going to put on my my bow line, and I'm going to attach a loop runner up there, and you'll see that. But this is where it gets even more complicated. Now, remember what I said? If there's 200 pounds of pull on here, that means that I have to have 200 pounds of hold on the other side, which you have to increase that by 2, so that's 400 pounds. What if I say I put this block in here, and I put a 200-pound load on the line that I'm rigging here, okay? It's also going to take another 200 pounds on the other side to hold that up. So we got 200 pounds of pull here. That's why you wear a helmet. Back to what I was saying. That's why when you have 200 pounds of pull on this side, you have to have 200 pounds of hold on this side, which puts 400 pounds on this block. Now, this rope thinks it's holding 400 pounds. So, now if this rope's holding 400 pounds, the anchor has to hold 400 pounds, right? And then, so what's the actual weight being pulled on the stem up there? It's actually 800 pounds. So you can see how this can increase a lot of stress on the stem or on the anchor point up in the tree, and could really cause failure if you're not paying attention and understanding. All right, so to go over it one more time, if I have 200 pounds of pull just on this rope, it's going to take 200 pounds of pull at the anchor to hold it up. So you're going to have to double that for your anchor point up there, which is going to be 400 pounds. If I add a block and I do that same 200 pound load on one end of the rope, I have to hold it 200 pounds on the other end just to hold it still, but keep it where it's at. So that's going to equal 400 pounds onto this block. So this rope is now going to be holding 400 pounds. It's going to take 400 pounds at the anchor to hold it up there because we went through a union. So now you can potentially go up to 800 pounds of actual force on your anchor point up there. Keep that in mind when you're rigging out the tops, especially with shock loading. So you're even going to add more. So keep that in mind. Okay, the block's up there. I got the rigging line down here. Just use the bow line, carabiner, and a loop running dynamo sling. So you can just curve hitch it onto the branch. Ready to go. So, alright, so I'm just going to attach this rigging line to a sling at the base of another tree. We're going to attach it for it. I'm just going to use a rigging prusik. Alright, now I can tighten it up to where I want it. If you want, you can just use an 8 on a bite as a backup. You can hook another carabiner on there. Alright, good to go. Okay, so we got the rigging set. Now we're going to set our climb line. Virtually going to use the same techniques. Throw a line over the union I want to set it in, pull it up through, tie it off at an anchor, and there we go. We're set up with SRT. I'm going to do that, and then I'll check back in. Okay. Alright, so the same process for the SRT line. This is just how I tie it off the base. I'm sure somebody else has a better idea or a better way. I know you can get anchors for the base of the tree, but this is just how I do it. I just put a wrap around the tree, one wrap, 8 on a bite, and then an alpine butterfly. Clip that on there. 8 holds, and if you want to put it back up, there it is. Alright, I'm all set. I'm ready to climb. I got my rigging line, got my climbing line set. I could just use this to help me better work positioning as I flip line and spike up this stem. We'll rig it out. We'll come on back down. Here we go. Alright guys, so this is where this climb line is going to come in handy. I'm kind of, let me tighten it up a little bit here. I'm kind of leaning out now over a good ways here, and I feel like you might fall left or right. A lot of times what I like to do, which I might have to move, you can now place it off to the side, kind of lean into it, lean off to the side, and it gives you a place to have better work positioning. Now you're more comfortable and you can start walking up this way. Alright guys, so as you can see, we got these pine trees here, and we don't want to get these branches caught up in there, so we can't get them out. It'd be a pain. We got a van down there, so we set the system up so the anchor point's going to pull the stuff out into this opening area, and Greg can lower it down and weasel it out of there. So that's what we're going to do. Alright, I'm kind of barely standing here you can see my feet are not in the most solid ground, and I don't really want to go for a ride when this comes off and slip, because it's possible. So I'm going to finish with my hand saw, although it's a bigger cut. Just going to make it happen. Alright, so Greg has the porter wrap on the skid steer, so he was able to back it up and pull this limb out of this tree here up to the block, and now he's got it where he wants it and he can lower it down. We got one more top to go, then I can start chunking down. Alright guys, I'm down out of the tree. As you can see, those tops were long, skinny, and they were pretty big, and they were really kind of hard to get out on just because these silver maples grow really broad and skinny, so it really helped to have that floating block up there. Greg was able to pull the stuff out of those other trees, which you saw in the video. So now all we have to do is pull the lines out of the tree, pack up, and we're good to go. So one thing worth mentioning is the floating block. You want to pull it down to yourself, unhook the block, and then pull your rope out. You wouldn't want to pull the rope out of the block and then you just have a block up there and it could get stuck on the union. So you definitely want to pull the block down to yourself, take it off, and then pull the rope up and out. Alright, just another little tip for you guys. If you flake your rope into a bag like I do, one thing nice to do is find like a sapling in the woods. It's got a little stub on it. Go ahead and hang your bag up there. Then you can flake right into the bag and you don't even have to bend over. It's really nice. And you don't have to hold the bag open when you're doing it either. There it is. Just another note, a lot of people might think, well, that was a lot of work just for one stem or whatever, but honestly for me that saves me from one, having to climb up another stem and go set a block and then have to go back and get it when I'm done. Number two, I mean, we're technically, pruning this tree, we're removing a lead, but I'm not going to spike something that's supposed to stay. Okay, so that's another reason why I do it, and honestly, it's just more control. I don't have to throw these pieces now. I don't have to try to get them back over my shoulder, so it's just a lot easier once it's already set up. The work's putting into setting it up, but it's a lot easier when you get up to cut, so that's why I'm doing it. Alright everyone, thanks for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it, you learned something. If you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to my channel and maybe even hit that little bell button so you get notified whenever I put up a new video. And feel free to leave a comment what your thoughts are on this video. And stay tuned, we'll have more, and I'll see you next time.